What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today I wanted to talk about sort of the state of Call of Duty with all of this trailer drama and all the dislikes on the Infinite Warfare trailer and the whole hashtag #RipCOD and everything along those lines. I basically just wanted to share what I think about this whole situation, and is COD going to be dying this year? Is this the death of COD? Are we never going to see Call of Duty again? Is it going to be outsold significantly by any other games? And personally, I don't think COD is going anywhere, and I'll explain my reasons for that in this video. First off, let's talk about the trailer and all the dislikes it got. So just in case you guys don't know yet, the Infinite Warfare trailer that was released broke over 1 million dislikes on that trailer, which is a crazy amount. I think at the time that I'm recording this, it's something like the 8th most disliked video on YouTube ever. And at first glance, as a Call of Duty YouTuber that basically makes his living off of Call of Duty, that's a little bit frightening to see. But when you really take a look at all of the different factors that go into this, I'm really not too concerned about this. I don't think that this marks the death of COD by any means whatsoever. So first and foremost, the biggest thing that I think a lot of people are overlooking is this started trending, this whole hashtag #RipCOD. And everybody was sharing how many dislikes the trailer was getting at first, when it wasn't really that crazy. It was nowhere near 1 million dislikes. And everybody was talking about it, everybody was sharing things. And I think a lot of it is just people jumping on that bandwagon of, oh look, it's getting all these dislikes, I'm going to jump over there and dislike it as well. Not necessarily because they dislike it, or maybe they're not even a Call of Duty player, they just wanted to see this video get more dislikes. So everybody jumps on it, and then it goes viral, everybody hears about it, it's in the news. So everybody can see it, and everybody wants to jump in and join on this, even if they're going to be buying the game. That's the funny thing. Even though it has this million dislikes or whatever, how many of those million people are still going to be buying the game? My bet is quite a few of those people. That's the thing about Call of Duty. Every year, tons and tons of people talk about how much they hate it, and it's the worst game ever, and they're never playing it again. But they buy the next one every single year. Now, of course, this isn't everybody. There are going to be a bunch of people involved in that group that were disliking it and stuff that are officially done with Call of Duty, or maybe weren't going to buy it in the first place. But you also have to consider the number of people that are going to be buying Call of Duty for the very first time this year. Every time you phase out one group, a new group of brand new Call of Duty players is growing up right now, and they're going to continue playing it because it's the biggest game. It's huge. People love it. People love to talk about it. People love to hate it. And it's still likely going to sell roughly 20 million copies. That's going to be my guess. It seems to consistently sell somewhere around there and has for several years in the past. I mean, it gets a little bit blurry when you start to see like the console crossover, so you have previous gen as well as next gen, and there's that awkward transition period. But overall, Call of Duty usually sells roughly 20 million copies every year. Now, will it outsell Battlefield 1 this year? Maybe, maybe not. It's really hard to say at this point. I think Battlefield 1 is definitely getting a lot of support, which is great. But even if Battlefield 1 does really well, that doesn't mean Call of Duty is going anywhere. And we've seen this in the past with tons of other games where people were saying, this is the end of Call of Duty. This game is going to take Call of Duty down. We've seen it with other Battlefield games. We've seen it with Titanfall. We've seen it with Destiny. People keep thinking this one's going to be the one that ends COD. And it never is. And I don't think it's going to be changing this year. Now, I also want to address the whole Battlefield trailer, because this is really where the hashtag #RipCOD started trending on Twitter, is when there was that the trailer reveal for Battlefield 1. And I want to be very clear here, I'm not here trying to bash Battlefield or anything. I'm more of a Call of Duty player. I prefer the gameplay style of Call of Duty for multiplayer. But at the same time, I acknowledge that Battlefield is an excellent game. I love the graphics, and I love a lot of things about Battlefield. It's just not the game for me. I will also say that I am going to be buying Battlefield 1, and I think it's going to be great for that few weeks before Call of Duty, but once Infinite Warfare launches, I'm likely going to be jumping straight into that. And the Battlefield 1 trailer was pretty amazing. It was an incredible trailer, very cinematic and everything, but that's just in-engine rendering of cinematics. It's not actually gameplay. And I think a lot of people are overlooking that, especially when you compare it and you put it side by side with the Infinite Warfare trailer, which is very likely the exact graphics we're going to be seeing in-game, like as we're actually playing through the campaign. Those are actually the graphics we're going to be seeing, or at least pretty close. I mean, consoles might be a little bit weaker than that. That's obviously probably going to be their maxed out settings on PC, but that is what you'll be seeing if you have a high-end PC and you're running this game. Whereas with the Battlefield 1 trailer, even if you have the best PC in the world, the gameplay is not going to look like those little cutscenes that we were seeing throughout the trailer. Now, is Battlefield 1 going to look better than Infinite Warfare? Almost definitely yes. Battlefield usually does beat Call of Duty in graphics by a pretty significant amount. But the past has shown us that graphics really don't mean that much in a modern day video game. Battlefield has always beaten Call of Duty graphics-wise, but COD's still here, COD's still going strong, so it hasn't killed it in the past, and I don't think graphics are going to kill it now. One of the biggest reasons Call of Duty sells so well every year and maintains a pretty good player base throughout the year is the feel of Call of Duty. It's the engine of Call of Duty. I think Frostbite is a far superior engine, that's the engine that Battlefield uses, but it just can't match that feel that Call of Duty has. It's really hard to quantify what it is. It's just something to do with the engine and how everything is built. Call of Duty has that feel that a lot of us crave every single year, and no other game seems to be able to match it for us. It's not for everyone, but for the really hardcore Call of Duty fans, it's hard to beat. One other point I wanted to bring up, and I should have brought up a little bit earlier about the dislikes on the trailer, is a lot of that is going to be from the people that dislike the fact that they saw an exosuit or like a thruster pack from Black Ops 3. It looked very similar to a Black Ops 3 thrust. You could see that in the trailer, as well as the fact that they're basically forcing you to spend $80 to get the legacy of Infinite Warfare in order to get that Call of Duty remastered, which is what a lot of people, that's really all they want, is the remastered COD 4. Now, about the thruster pack and the boosting, Black Ops 3 seems to be doing very well as far as player base and everything goes. Unfortunately, we can't see the exact numbers, but I can tell you right now, there are tons of people that are still actively involved in Black Ops 3. If you just go and watch some YouTube videos from Black Ops 3, watch some of the top guys, there are still tons and tons of people that are actively playing this game and enjoying this game. So yes, there are people that are upset and they wanted that boots on the ground, but a lot of those people were saying the same thing when they saw Black Ops 3 had thruster packs, and yet they still bought it, and they're still going to be buying it again. In addition to that, the really hardcore players that really want that COD 4 remastered, they're likely still going to spend the $80 to get their COD 4 remastered with their Infinite Warfare bonus. Like, they're going to flip it around basically, so to them, they're buying Modern Warfare Remastered, and then Infinite Warfare is just that little bonus game that it comes with, even though it's meant to be the opposite. Either way, a sale is a sale, and they're still likely going to be spending that money. Now, the one final point I want to make is we haven't seen any multiplayer gameplay or really any multiplayer information yet. The only real hints that we've gotten from a lot of the pro players, as well as people that are involved in the pro scene, they got to play it, and we got a few little hints on it. And basically the gist of it is a lot of them were saying if you like Black Ops 3, you're going to like this game. So a lot of things are likely going to be carrying over from Black Ops 3, but we haven't seen any gameplay, we haven't seen anything to do with that whatsoever. So people are jumping on that hate train for something that they haven't really even seen yet, because multiplayer is really where it's at. I don't really care at all about what happens in campaign, as long as multiplayer is solid. I'm really looking forward to seeing more about multiplayer. Hopefully we'll get a few little tidbits of information or maybe even some gameplay at E3. But until then, I'm going to be trying to stay as optimistic as possible, try and keep some positivity here, and I'm going to be keeping an open mind as well. So I'd like to know in the comments section below, do you think this is the end of Call of Duty this year? Do you think Black Ops 3 was the last big Call of Duty and Infinite Warfare is just going to tank, and then from there Call of Duty is just going to die off? Or are you more along the lines of what I'm thinking and COD is going nowhere this year? Let me know in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you guys next time.